people. How you doing today? Saturday. We have a good show for you. We have a good show for you. We have a very good show for you. And I hope that you guys stay and watch the show because we're going to talk about talking cars. Go ahead.
I don't know what that is, but we're
Yeah,
gonna talk
man, I
about
got some talking
we we're
cars.
gonna talk about the Carlisle Group and what's going on in South Africa.
Whoa, South Africa, huh? Okay. Hey, you guys enjoy this show coming up.
Welcome to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Let's go, people. Here we are doing our thing on a Saturday afternoon here. And as usual, we have a lot to talk about. At least I do. I don't know about Theodore, but I got a lot to talk about. Man, I've been, whoo, man, we'll talk about that later. But I got some stuff, man. We're going to be talking about how cars talk. Ooh, it is unbelievable, people, what is coming down the pipe. It is unbelievable. They got some AI stuff. Man, you are not going to believe it. And it looks like we are falling further and further behind because China has got they got some stuff. Their technology is, whoa. We got to start catching up, people here in this country. Got to start catching up. What you got, Ted?
Well, I want to talk about first the Carlisle Group, which has been around since the '80s. And the thing about Carlisle Group, and I'm gonna say the bottom line is, it purchased the Baltimore Orioles. Now, if you don't know about the Carlisle Group, it's a number of things. It deals with assets, accounts, real assets, and it's really a big conglomerate that has taken over so many companies. It's got at least 50 companies that they partnership with, dealt with. And I was looking at their account. I say, they bought this Baltimore Orioles for peanuts. It ain't nothing to them. But the reason why they bought it is because it gave them a little more oomph in the public's eye. You know, the person that runs Carlisle, or at least he's the co-founder, he figured that he get this baseball team because he think that'll give them more visibility, that'll give them more street cred. But although he's aware that baseball is not as popular as it used to be when he was coming up as a kid. The guy's probably in his late 60s or early 70s. And the Carlisle group, they got it going on. I got to give it to him because the way he made his money is he started begging for people for capital. And of course, he has 5 or 6 partners that co-founded it with him. And they just started collecting money from people to invest. And they're good investors. They have the right people to run the show. They had this guy who used to be the president of a big mortgage company, and now he's the president. So the reason why I'm bringing it up is to show you, or at least to let people know that these mega companies that you think are just doing money, they have hundreds of subsidiaries of businesses you might be doing business with, and you don't even know. Now, the reason why I brought up them is one of the things I listen to this guy. He's always on Bloomberg, and he's doing interviews and what have you. And this time, people was interviewing him, and it's the first time that I really said, "Let me take a look at his company," because I glanced over it some years ago when I saw him on TV, but I didn't really dig into his company. But the one thing that I found out is that how they really started making their money is they started in the military during the Bush era, started bringing in the cash,
Mm-hmm.
and as well as fossil fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing those kinds of negotiations and contracts, and you buying up small military companies, and you taking over and changing them over. One of the things that they did, they bought Magabox. You remember Magabox? You remember that company, Magabox? Used to be a nice
I,
TV.
I think I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do stereos and all that, but they do much more than that. They did much more than that because they did a lot of stuff for the military. So they bought that company for peanuts, basically, and then they incorporated with another company. And so now, whatever company, I don't remember the company, I don't feel like going through that. But it's so detailed. But here's the thing that I was really taken by is that in 2024, it made, well, first of all, the company assets is $426 billion. That's almost $500 billion,
Mm-hmm.
which, that's not bad, but they got them rated as number 3 for a hedge fund. However, last year they made $48 billion. Their operating cost was 18. But you know how much revenue that they claimed, profit they made? $1 billion. Hello?
Hey.
48 from 18, and then he didn't pay that
Hey.
many tax. Now he got all these partners that they probably had to pay out and all that. But their operating cost was 18 billion. His revenue that he brought in was 48. But it boiled down to only $1 billion. So just think about that. If they make next year, if they make $100 billion, then all his revenue is going to be $2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the cold thing. Now, while I was going through them, I decided let me look at South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
South Africa, man, I'm gonna tell you. Let me look at my notes here. South Africa, they 63 million population, which is not large, and American dollars, $380 billion. That's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money. And I said, how in the world are they making all that money? And then they sit around here complaining about because they didn't get their U.S. aid. I don't get that because, see, the big thing was in South Africa, Bush had that initiative, so many billions of dollars to go to them for keeping HIV down.
Mm-hmm.
And so they used to getting that money every year, and certain other portions of the thing, and it has contained whatever they was trying to contain because of that disease. However, when I started looking at, now, number one, they got a few American companies there, okay? Not a whole lot. But IBM has taken over. They're doing a lot of their IT stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And then you got HP trying to get in there too. Now, the thing is that how they make their money is because they got so many resources. You name it, they got it. You name all the little different minerals and things that are available for certain goods and services, and those people mine all of those goods and services, and they got at least pretty close to about 50 to 60 of them, and they all bring in a certain amount of money, not a whole lot of money, 200 million here, 300 million there, 500 million there, 100 million, some of them as low as 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. So that tells them that a lot of people are hustling, setting up their companies, and getting that product out of there. And they get a little land, and they can mine that stuff out. So, but now here's the thing, which I don't understand, but maybe I'm wrong. I saw they had 2 mobile phone companies, and they don't even make $10 billion a year, bro. I'm talking about each one of them making right around $8 to $9 billion. You got 63 million people. So I don't know who's in charge. I didn't look up to see who's in charge of those and who's actually running those 2 businesses. But if they're African and they're doing resilient and doing it themselves, hey, more power to them. But if I look into those companies and find out who's running those companies, then you'll know who's making the money. But that's another story. I don't want to go that deep. But the point is that they get all the makings of a very successful country. When you're talking about 380 billion, bro. They I don't know what they're doing with their money. I really don't. Now, here's the thing. I checked out their unemployment. According to them, their unemployment is extremely high, 32%.
Mm. So, did you go and check to find out where are these other folks doing and stuff since the unemployment is so high?
Well, a lot of them, if you look at the poverty rate, the salary range is not very high, it's $6,000 a month. That's the average, as far as PPP. So those people.
Is that in the dollar? Is that in the dollar or
I don't know
their
if it's
currency?
that American dollar or if it's the whatever their currency is. But the thing is that they're not paying very well as far as that goes. And I'm now I've listened to the president of South Africa, He just got over into the G7, 20, I'm sorry. He's now invited to go to the G20.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's expressing himself. They're trying to be self-reliant and they're trying to move that country up and what have you. Now, why did I bring that up? Who's been attacking South Africa?
Well, aren't they part of that BRICS?
Well, that's another thing. The thing is that, but the person who's been, the one thing that Trump has been attacking South Africa. He's been attacking South Africa. And he want all the South Africans that want to leave get automatic citizenship to America.
You mean white South Africans?
That's right.
Okay.
Excuse me. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't look into what they have and what they're doing, and their farming mechanism. I understand that they do a lot of farming and they make their money that kind of way and all that stuff. I didn't look into that, but the thing is, and I'm gonna keep on looking at that. But the thing is, I just find it very kind of miraculous that they want to bring that. And I didn't even look at the demographics as far as the white, the blacks, and what the percentages are. But the point is that these people will be able to come to America with no vetting or nothing.
Mm-hmm. Is that part of that $5 million visa he's going to give them? Okay.
I mean, the things that's being done under the table and not being talked about, because of these news people, they don't want to go into detail because to them that's investigating reporting. Yes, and it is. You do have to do investigations. You got to talk to people. You got to find out. Now, I found a bunch of articles and stuff like that. I look at BBC and African news, and they talk about it. You can go on and hear people's voices and all that stuff, what they're talking about, and they're pretty upset about Trump coming after them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens, but we got to keep our eye on them. But the thing is, man, when you got 94 countries, and then even in that country, they got 4 or 5 languages. So, the continent of Africa, man, I don't get it, bro. I mean, as rich as it is, you would think that they would try to unify and connect with each other and try to do something because man, they got that's where the resources are.
Right. They got the climate, the resources, they got the minerals, they got the gold, they got the diamonds, they got all that stuff. They got the people, but for some reason or another, Ted, they seem not to be always fighting. There's conflict going in there constantly, and you're finding that a lot of the countries and stuff like United States, China, Canada, European Union, they don't want to get involved in those conflicts because they can get sucked into that mess and everything, and they got genocide going on there. They got diseases and stuff going on there, and all kinds of stuff. So it's it's a sad situation and stuff and everything. But I think with the U.S. aid that they did, a lot of our past presidents, other than this knucklehead now, always used that U.S. aid and stuff as kind of an inroad into Africa and everything to kind of
soft diplomacy.
help out. Yeah,
they call it soft diplomacy.
Soft diplomacy, and they use that and stuff and everything to keep inroads in there, to keep China from coming in there.
Well, it's too late now, bro.
I know it's too late. China has already pledged $40 billion. They putting big money into a lot of those countries, and they're putting that money there. And what from what I've been reading and stuff about them, they know that this is a risk and stuff put it in there, but they said it is a risk and stuff worth trying. And I found
Well,
out.
plus they're going to get their resources too, because that's going to
Right.
be part of the
Yeah.
deal.
There and Nigeria, for one thing, has used their resources quite a bit and stuff. They built up their cities and stuff. They got a couple of cities that they're using their Chinese money and building up. But most of the money that the Chinese government and stuff is giving them is loans. And there are several countries that I found out and everything, like Kenya or whatever, they are so embedded in stuff and loans and stuff and everything to China and some of these other countries that they can't even pay their debt and stuff down. So they're hoping that somebody would come in and save them and everything, and don't allow China or some of these other countries and stuff to completely take over their country. So I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that they have put themselves in so much debt and stuff with these folks and everything that their debt load is just unbearable. So they're looking for other countries and stuff to bail them out.
Well, the reason why people get in debt is, and you know this as well as I do, when you're not producing anything, or when your business, you have to have companies. You have to have enough smart people to build those companies so that that can bring resources, and then you can export your stuff.
Well, that was you since you brought that up, that was one of the reasons and stuff why Kenya took their money and borrowed it, because they took their money and they borrowed the money and stuff because they wanted to build up the agricultural sector and stuff there in their country. And they started working on that, building up the agricultural sector and stuff so they can be able to produce a lot of exports that they can export outside their country and everything. But for some reason or another and everything, it didn't come about as fast as they wanted it to come about. They ran into a lot of roadblocks and everything, and the technology and getting people to come out there and do it to adapt this new technology, because a lot of those other folks and stuff had been doing farming and stuff for so long. It took the country a long time to get them to make the farmers and stuff adapt to this new technology that would help them produce more product to coming out of their field. So because of that time it had taken them to get them to adapt to this new technology, they
Well,
just got
America
overwhelmed.
has invested into South Africa as far as training people and that kind of thing. However, and like you just said earlier, is that these people look at what South Africa went through, all of that,
Hmm.
apartheid and all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. And for years that was a whole sword in their arsenal, because
Decades.
all kind of stuff was going on there. But the point is that, and you had a great leader that was trying to unite, but at the same time, you had to have the people. Now, and that's the reason why I think why he came here. He was looking for help, and a lot of black folks tried to go over there and do some stuff.
Hmm.
But a lot of those people, they don't have the same values and morals. And I hate to say that, but, they've been conning and scheming and screaming, just like we did back in the day, you know. So, 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 they used to doing that kind of attitude. But business is business, bro. You got to do stuff by contract. You got to get partnerships, and those contracts got to be correct. And then you get partnerships, and those contracts got to be correct, and all that stuff. And it's complicated. That means you got to have lawyers that know how to do all of that stuff, so that you can make sure that your business can't nobody come in there and take it over unless you just want to sell it. But anyway, that's a whole new thing. But the thing is that that's why I'm comparing the Carlyle group to South Africa. You had a man and a few partners come in and do and started a business in the 80s, and now it's worth almost $500 billion. He done bought and sold hundreds of companies, and he got companies. That means they own those companies, and a lot of those companies they have partnership with to keep them going. And what they do is they have a group of people. They got 2,300 people that's working for this group, and these people go in and consult with them to keep those business going and looking, seeing that they can grow, and then they're gonna IPO them down the road and get people to invest in their company. Because if they got a good product, one of the things that Carlyle Group has, one of the things, the many of things that they deal with is gaming. And we know gaming is big time, bro, worldwide. And they own all of these games. They bought them, and then they start building it up. And next thing you know, they get all these people purchasing their products. So it's really, man, it's like it's a grind. And the thing is, I don't know, man. People think they can get rich overnight, or somebody can give you a couple $1 million and you think you fine or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. But man, when it comes to business is a process. It's a long, long process. You got to grind. You got to talk about it, whether people agree with you or not, and vice versa. And then you work out. And then when you leave that room, everybody's got a piece of something, and now everybody's happy. So, and that's something that we as a people have never learned. We have never learned that. And like I say, I take my hat off to them. I might not agree with stuff that they bought and sold and all that, the military stuff. God only knows what, how much money and government money they got from the government. We don't even know that. You got to do the real deep down, dig out search for that. But I can guarantee you they got quite a few billions of dollars, because they spent over $8 trillion on those two wars. So I'm sure they got their share. I mean, I'm breaking it down like for a third grader. I can go deep and I can go serious, I can go technical, but I'm telling you, this stuff is real. This is the reason why we are so far behind. And I think a lot of smart business people, way smarter than me, have realized, hey, we have missed the boat. And a lot of people are, a lot of Black businesses are realizing that, hey, you got to partner with people, but at the same time, you got to own stuff too. And then you got to buy stuff. But the question, the problem is, this is the problem. Will they do business with you? That's the problem. And, and he make no bones about it. He say, yeah, a white Jewish person. Yeah, I'm white and, and blah, 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 and he talked about the baseball team. He said, well, right now, only 4% of the players are Black in baseball. It was more than that in the 60s, bro. 4% of the Black players in baseball.
Right.
And he said only 7%, and they got the numbers, bro. Only 7% of true baseball players are Black even attend the games.
Mm-hmm.
So they know they have lost that market.
They've lost that edge. The Latin American countries that came in and they brought in their baseball players, and the Asian folks now have brought in their baseball players and taken over, because
but they not. Ain't nobody watching it, bro. Ain't nobody watching baseball.
Well, somebody watching it, because these folks are getting some hell of a contracts here.
Well, they get well. That's another story because they play so many games, bro. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
162
165
games.
games. Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of ironic and stuff. Ted, I'm gonna try to bring this back here to where I'm at right now. You and I so far have been talking about the the backwardness and the undeveloped countries and stuff out there, and a lot of them are in our country and stuff like Africa. And I'm looking at the Palestinians there in Gaza and stuff and everything. And these folks are sitting down there. They don't have hardly anything, and they're not. The schools are not even there. And we looking at the conflict and stuff that's going on there in Haiti and stuff and everything, where you can't even get anybody to come into that daggone country to do anything at all. So these folks and stuff and everything, they're sitting there fighting for their lives, fighting for their survival and everything, and they're getting further and further and further behind the eight ball. And even here in our country and stuff, we are not educating our children and stuff enough and doing it quickly enough. So now I'm looking at this and finding out, excuse me, that this technology, man, this AI technology, man, is getting it's getting like light years away from where you're looking at these folks over here fighting and beating up each other to where these folks are taking the world and everything right now. And I spoke early and stuff in my short and stuff about cars talking to each other. Now I want to read you guys something that I subscribe to and everything and stuff now that I thought I need to find out exactly what AI is doing, what the technology and stuff is coming down the pipes and stuff for us in the future. Well, it's not the future anymore. It is right now. And we started out, what, about 3 or 4 years ago and stuff. Somebody came up with the idea of having a car that can drive by itself. And we looked at that and everything and stuff then 3 years ago. Now that ain't gonna work. We can't get the cars. You can't have no self-driving car. They're gonna have accidents. They're gonna have this. They're gonna have that. Well, they got some very, very smart folks out there. And now they have the technology to where these cars are talking to each other. They're telling each other where things are at. And they are doing this in almost light speed. Uh, let me say that self-driving cars are getting their own social network. You can imagine they get their own social network. So what are they talking about here? Well, New York University researchers have built a new system that lets autonomous vehicles talk to each other while they are on the road. That is amazing that they can do this. That these cars and stuff now they are pushing them and stuff to be almost human, and they're saying that take for advantage that you have your self-driving car that is coming into New York, and there's some heavy traffic in there. Well, if there's 10 or 12 other cars and stuff that are already there in New York, they're sitting there and stuff giving this car that's coming in information about what they have went through, the traffic conditions, if there's any roadblocks or anything going on there. And these cars are talking back and forth to each other, and they keep it in contact with each other, and they're hoping to expand this technology to all of their self-driving cars. I couldn't believe this stuff, Ted, that this stuff is going on. I really didn't. It just blew my mind. Then I read about this. Says, okay, there's a picture here of some robots, real live robots here and everything, and they're in a plant in China. They call themselves the Swarm Squad. In a world first Chinese robotics firm called UB Tech have humanoids um, who have human coordination so they can pick things up and put it over into where it needs to go to, and they're almost like humans. And each one of them and stuff, as they're working inside this production area, they're talking to each other and they're learning. They have a prototype of this particular company and these particular humanoids and stuff, and they're doing work. And they're planning on, in just a few more months and stuff and everything, starting to build these plants and stuff to where they're going to take people's jobs and stuff from them.
Well, if you ever, from time to time, I look at futuristic stuff and things that are in the pipeline and what people are doing. Um, People are doing all kinds of things to try to get a flying car and all that stuff. All those things that those few things that you just mentioned, those things, you have to look at it like this. You have to look at market. What's that?
They can't see that. I don't think they
Can't
can
see
see
it.
that. There's a picture of this plant with these robots in there.
Yeah.
They're sitting there doing the work, and they're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not
I've
something
seen it.
that's, yeah.
But here's the thing, though, bro. Here's the thing. The thing is that when you're talking about flying cars, you're talking right now. Just a few days ago, we was talking about people paying $100,000 for a car and taking 72 months to pay for it and paying almost $800 a month for and that kind of craziness. And the thing is that you have to have the people to do those things. And then, so like if you have a robot or a bunch of robots and you want to start a manufacturing company, you got to have people to invest in those manufacturing companies.
They already invested in them, Chip.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is that here's the thing: everything is a test mode because they'll go by and they'll do that, but then you have to have maintenance people to maintain those things because things wear out, things break down, and that kind of thing. And
And
so,
and that's where the people who jobs are being displaced, that's where they fit in and stuff at. When they're losing their jobs and stuff and doing this, they need to train themselves and everything so they can be able to repair these robots and stuff as they break down. But these smart folks and stuff now, Ted, are looking at the fact that they're going to have to do this and everything. So they are creating robots and stuff that can produce themselves, other robots who can repair themselves. So they've already looked at this daggone thing that I thought would could be to happen, where they would be able to come in there and if something breaks down, they can repair them. Well, they're building robots and stuff now and everything who can repair themselves. They are making their own repairs to themselves, and they are learning. This is called machine learning along with artificial intelligence. These machines are learning, and they are setting them up to learn how to do things without a human interaction at all. So where is this taking us?
well, it's not about where it's taking us. These people that are doing these things are doing it for the whole big thing in corporations is always labor costs. That's their whole big thing, labor costs. That's the reason why they went offshore. That's why they go to Mexico. That's why they went to China. Why they go to India, because they can build factories there and get cheaper labor. Now every corporation can't afford those robots, and and so that would take a total investment or renewing of their investments. So now if they figure out that they can say, okay, if I build these robots and have a test mode of and get investors to do that, then that's a 24/7 deal. Say like for textile, or let's say for apparel, then I don't need those workers. But what I'm saying is that what the American people, each individual American people need to do is figure out a way, how can I make money? That's the reason why a lot of these people are on TikTok, the reason why these people are on YouTube, the reason why people trying to bring out music, a lot of people trying to get money without working, and the money just come in. So the point is that this is the game right now, because there's no way every individual can keep up with all this technology.
There's no way. It is going so fast that even the folks out there who were trying to keep up with it, they don't understand what is going on. But it is eventually going to be taking over the world. In, Internationally, a lot of these countries, a lot of these other folks out there, they are going to start using this technology no matter what. They are going to start having self-driving cars. They are going to start having robots who are working inside these plants or these whatever to make whatever they need to be made and to even make themselves. And it's coming. So how are we going to adapt to it? I don't know. I'm just throwing this question and stuff out. How are we going to adapt to that? Because it's going to happen, and the
Well, they
cost of it,
already got a,
and
you know,
it's
60
and the
Minutes
cost
got a
of it,
thing
the
on.
cost of it for these people who own these companies and stuff. I don't think that that's going to matter to them. I think that they want that technology, and they're going to try to use it for their own benefit to make money. They're going to use it to make money. They're going to buy it and they're going to use it, because a lot of these new technologies, things and stuff are being backed by these folks and stuff with their money. Somebody comes up with this idea and stuff, so these folks are putting their money and stuff into this technology. So we're going to be using it. It's coming down the pipe. So I'm just trying to let our viewers and stuff
Yeah,
know this stuff
well,
is coming.
it's going to be a slow process, and this is something that they've been working on
I don't think it's going to be
for
that slow, kid.
decades.
I don't
They've
think
been
it's
working
going to
on
be
this
that
for
slow.
decades.
It's not going to be that
But
slow.
like
It's
you
coming
said,
quick.
China is way ahead of us
They're way ahead.
that we know of. Now we don't know that what's going, what other people are doing behind the scenes, here in this country.
And
They could be doing the same thing.
right, they might have projects going on, and they could be out there stealing these ideas. They aren't beyond logging into there or hijacking their computers and stuff and stealing their ideas and stuff and start using those things and
We
stuff
might be further
for
advanced
themselves.
than them. We don't
As
know.
far as theft and stealing ideas, could be. And a lot of this, what's going on is that these folks and stuff and everything who engineered all these ideas and stuff and everything, that they become dissatisfied with the company that they've been working for there in China, and then somebody would turn around and hire them over there and bring them into their company and bring those ideas along with them into their company so they can absorb what's going on, and they can build their prototypes. So we're going to have some self-driving cars around here pretty soon. They're going to come. They're coming.
We got self-driving diesels now, right?
Self-driving what?
Diesel trucks.
I heard about that. Well, hey.
The thing is that they've trained to have a drive-by. Somebody sitting there, a human being,
Right.
and then the truck drives by itself.
Right.
They got a whole company of that.
Yeah.
So
we are heading into a new era and stuff, Ted. We may not, you and I probably won't even be around when all this stuff happens. Our children and grandchildren and stuff going to be seeing this, and that's why I brought it up. That they need to get themselves educated enough so they can be able to deal with what's coming on, understand about what's coming on, and use it and stuff to their ability to make money somehow. I don't know. Anyway, what else you got?
Well, the only thing that I want to say,
We got about 10 minutes. Go ahead.
the only thing I want to say is this. Right now, people are waking up. Now, I'm not saying that we started it last week or week before last, talking about Hakeem.
Yeah, man.
And the thing is that, and this is not no knock on him, because we know what type of person he is. He's a decent man. He's a serious, politician. However, the one thing that we got to do is vote. You had over 50 million people that didn't vote. So, and that's the one thing, I'm gonna preach that people need to get out there. Those people that's able to do that, and I know a lot of organizations out there trying to register people to vote and trying to convince them to vote. And for some reason in their minds, they don't think voting counts. And to them, it don't count, because a lot of things that the Democrats should have been doing that wasn't being done, and it should have been done. You can't just be handing people money. You got to start doing things to help people to build their communities. When people try to start businesses, they should have been getting small business loans, like a lot of these other people they get. Same thing with farmers. Our black farmers are hurting.
Ooh, man. What?
Big time.
Ooh.
When they was doling out all that money for the farmers, none of the farmers got a dime. So, and then and they try to be out here. The black farmers try to be on TV here and there and try to put the news out and what have you, but it's not enough.
And
And it's getting smaller and smaller as far as those people that love to do the farming and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the game is, but probably should.
And you mentioned about how folks are getting into business and how to put balance sheets out there, how to do contracts and all that. Well, those things apply into farming also. You have to be able to put together a contract and be able to understand what that contract is, and don't just sign your name to a contract thinking that what these people and stuff are giving you and everything is going to help you and produce something or increase your wealth and stuff on your farm. I've been looking at some of the videos and stuff and everything of these black farmers and stuff and everything who raise chickens. And these guys and stuff, they got contracts and stuff with Tyson, who's the biggest chicken producer, I guess, in the country. And they got contracts and stuff with them. And Tyson decided that they were going to loan them the money to build up their chicken farms. They gave them the money and stuff and everything. And now these farmers and stuff are in debt to Tyson's and stuff. And some of them have been frugal enough to pay this daggone thing back, but they never looked at the daggone fine print in those contracts. And in that fine print in those contracts and stuff and everything, Tyson's is ripping off these farmers and stuff. Matter of fact, a lot of them who are still in business and stuff, their farms are in essence owned by Tyson because of these contracts that they sign. They're employees. It's their farm, but they are employees of Tyson.
not independent contractors.
Not independent contractors anymore. You are an employee of Tyson. They own your stuff. They own everything you got.
And that means you got to produce.
That means you got to produce or you're going to lose it. And really, Tyson wants them to keep the thing going on because as long as they own them, and they're eventually going to be, just like I just said, an employee of Tyson. But it's
And
your
if
farm.
they told them, if we're gonna give you so many dollars on a dozen of eggs, and then they say no, well, because of blah blah blah, instead of 67 cents, we're gonna give you 52 cents.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money. I just saw a
And
guy get interviewed behind that, and he said that he lost $70,000 because they changed the price on it.
absolutely. And what they also found out a lot of these farmers and stuff, that, like I said, they became frugal enough to where they went and tried to pay their loans back. And when they almost got ready to pay their loans back and everything, what Tyson did and stuff and everything, they came into their chicken producing areas and stuff and said, hey, we're not going to buy your chickens and stuff until you put some more air and stuff inside here. You're going to have to redo your floors and stuff and everything where your chickens are. You're going to have to raise them up off the floor a little bit higher and everything. And they put so many restrictions upon them, and they had to turn around and spend some more money to do all this work and stuff inside their companies and stuff and everything, that they still became owners and stuff of Tyson. They just came in and just ripped them off. So
And
most
that's
of them,
because, and what is the reason why that they have to go through Tyson when they should be collaborating together? Those chicken farmers, I'm talking about the
they
black
they
chicken farmers.
they,
What they should be is collaborating with each other. I don't care if you're in New York, I don't care if you're in Pennsylvania, I don't care if you're in California. If you're a black farmer and you're raising chickens, you should collaborate and say, this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to have a contract directly to certain grocery stores.
well, Tyson, they are a monopoly in that business as far as chickens are concerned and producing chickens. If you look in the grocery store, they are almost everything you see, and they got Tyson's on it, everything, and they have a monopoly on that. And they find out that these people, first of all, they could not build those chicken areas and stuff unless they got a loan, and the only place that they could easily get a loan from was Tyson's, so they can build their chicken farm up. So they thought that by getting a loan from Tyson's and everything that they can do that, and Tyson guaranteed them that they were going to buy their chickens. So they already had a market for their chickens. They had everything they needed. Tyson pays them and all that. But unbeknownst to them, Tyson had some stuff underneath and everything, some flaky stuff and everything, stuff
What
for
was
them.
what was I talking about? This is about 30 minutes, 40 minutes ago. That you just said it. The contracts.
Mm-hmm.
That means
Yep.
if you don't have you here. This is your lane. Your lane is to produce whatever you produce,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to have people who's in that other lane.
Yep.
It might cost you a few extra dollars.
Right.
But pay that guy $400 an hour, or whatever you got to pay,
an
to make
attorney
sure
to
that
look
this
at it and
contract.
everything, and a lot of times you may have to take that contract and stuff that Tyson give you and stuff and put your own language in there that's going to help you through this. And most of them didn't do that. They just went ahead, because Tyson gave them the money, they went and did that. And that's why I brought this up, because when you start talking about the black farmers, I remember what you said about being in Africa and how they just letting people come in there and they don't have contract, they don't do bookkeeping, they don't do all that other stuff. Well, the same thing happens and stuff on the farm with those farmers. Same thing happened to them, and they got up under that
You get what you pay
sledgehammer.
for. You get what you pay for.
They
The
got
point
out
is
under
that when
that.
you
They got out
invest,
under that, and now they became sharecroppers again.
yeah, you get what you pay for. If you don't do things legally, because see, legally, Tyson is already set up the contract and you signed it.
And that
But
contract,
it's your
if
obligation to make
anytime you
sure.
look at a contract, it is set up to benefit the person who is giving you the money. They're going to have, they got all the cards in that they hand. They're going to give you as fewer cards as they can. And they're not going to let you have anything. They're going to beat you down. But I can understand that these guys were sitting there and they thought that they were getting a good deal because, they're kind of slow. They haven't been to school and stuff a lot and get themselves trained. So they say, hey, we can work our way through there. We can pay this back, not knowing that soon as Tyson finds out, they get to the end of that daggone contract and they almost got them loans and stuff paid off. Tyson comes back in there and says, you got to put this in here. You got to put this in here, or we're not going to buy your chickens. At that point in time, I would have told Tyson, I don't care. And that's when I would have did what you just said, made an agreement with somebody else and stuff to sell my chickens because I'm already a big chicken producer. These folks are putting out millions of chickens every year. So somebody out there and everything did probably want to buy their daggone chickens, but they didn't. They went head on and went back and let Tyson loan them the money to put all this new stuff in there. So they back under the hammer again.
They get us every time, man.
Yeah. And a lot of times, Ted, when you find yourself in that first type, you better off thinking about that stuff and everything and not reacting and stuff to it because you're scared you're going to lose your stuff. You can't be scared. You got to have to wait and deal with that stuff methodically and make sure you understand exactly what's going on and what are your options and stuff. We don't
And
usually do that.
here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't get. I really don't. Why would you have a association, a Black Farmers Association? You have a president, you got a board, and you have the list, supposedly having a list, because they should be members of those people, and you paying dues as a member, and you don't collaborate with your leadership. Y'all decide, and then the leadership should have enough cognizance of, hey, we need attorneys to look at these contracts before anybody sign anything. Now, if you're an individual and that person, hey, I need the money, you're gonna give me $500,000, and I got to do this and I can do that. I know I can do it, but they didn't read the fine print.
And that's another problem there because
And they were looking at all these bills they got to pay.
right, they looking at it. They well, this my farm, and if these other folks
There's
outside
too many
trying to
smart people,
my
man.
farm.
We have too many smart people out here, man. And you trying to tell me that there is no organization, Black organization that's out here, or firm or something that
They
these people can go to realize whatever they got to deal with?
they have those organizations, Ted. But what these folks and stuff do, they wait until they get in so much daggone trouble and everything, and then they try to get somebody else to go out there and bail them out. And by the time they try to go out there to get somebody to help to bail them out because they went up and did this thing on their own, and now they under the hammer, way underneath the hammer, they say, "Oh, I need some help," and they go on down there now and using their resources. It's too late. Most of the time, it's too late. It's a done deal by the time they decide that they want to ask somebody else to help them.
Oh well.
Yep. Last word.
I'm done, bro.
I'm done too, man. This is how we are till we get ourselves in trouble like this, man. And I a lot of times I have to tell people and stuff when you first get into trouble and stuff, don't react. Do not react to it. Just sit back and wait for a little while because it can't be that bad. But they don't do that. They just, well, I'm going to go ahead and somebody didn't give them a lifeline, and that lifeline ain't no lifeline. It's not. So, hey, that's where we are. So wait until you get so far gone that can't nobody save you. And uh, as you can see, Ted, there are some folks out there and everything. They are very, very upset about what's going on up there in the White House and they're in Congress and they're congressmen. And I think that edict and stuff that these Republican, the RNC committee put out, where don't have no meetings and stuff with these people, that ain't gonna fly. These people pissed, man. And these white folks, they ain't black folks, these white folks, and they stay on the case. Because one of them sat down there in a meeting and stuff and told them, we put you in and we can take you out. Oh man, so don't get them mad because they gonna stay on the case. And I'm pretty sure the old boy and stuff, old Tom Cotton and stuff, he sat down there and listened to that mess. And one lady said, you trying to get rid of our health insurance. And she asked them, what kind of insurance do you have? He never answered the question. You insured, so why should my family be insured? They hot to it.
Well,
Them
they need
folks
to
is
be
hot.
hotter.
They hot. They hot in them red
They need
states,
to be
man. They
hotter,
hot.
bro.
They hot, and they can't keep avoiding these folks and stuff and everything because they getting ready to vote these fools out. So anyway, you all have a good day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.